For as long as I can remember, I have been raised as TB Joshua's daughter.
I knew the child, Ajoke, right from birth.
She's his actual daughter, his biological daughter.
The God I was introduced to is evil. He's diabolic because this is the same God that would sleep with us. This is the same God that would beat us up. This is the same God that would manipulate us. You have no idea of what I went through.
What's up, my people? How una dey? Waiting they happen, waiting they sub. So BBC finally released one of the most anticipated videos in recent times, and the reason why I call it that is because of the man in question, TB Joshua. The video itself, or the investigation video, is like almost 2 hours long, so it's very long, right? That's the first and second episode.
The first time I met him, it looked helpful, it looked loving, not knowing that behind that was a sadist, a psychopath. And I wanted to be connected to God. That's why I stayed there. That's why I keep trying my very best.
I might do another video and call it part 2 of this video to summarize what the victims talk about in the third episode. Now, these are damning allegations, right, against this man. These are victims giving out gory information about a man of God who is perceived to be the voice of God, or second to God, or even very close to God. TB Joshua.
There was a system in there that he used to abuse these women. He's the one that crafted the building of his apartment. He designed it. The whole building was just designed to keep secret. Multiple doors, multiple entries and exits. The staircase you can use to get to his 5-story was like 4. I call a lady, Prophet wants to see you. He will tell you the specific staircase that this person should come.
He would always tell you which entrance to take, which door to get into.
You can ask the ladies to come through any of the door, so people don't see them.
He would always ask you, when you come, did anybody see you? You'll be like, no, sir. Then he would rape me again. It was a process, a very nasty cycle.
We couldn't see it right under our nose. He designed a system for deceiving all of us disciples.
A lot of women were being abused by this man. I had no idea. I thought I was the only one.
I didn't know that that thing had happened to anybody else.
They were all in the same system.
This is a system whereby you have nobody to talk to, and there was nothing I could do.
We, the 5-story builders, are the ones covering him. These are children of 16, 17 years. He kept all of us in slavery. Total, absolute slavery.
Almost every day, TB Joshua have girls in his room.
If I'm going to count in a week, seeing these things like 4 to 5 times in a week.
Every week?
Yes, every week.
Now, guys, stick around. You're going to get more information about what the whole, the first and second episode is about. First of all, I want you guys to imagine this. Your own daughter being in that investigation video. Yes, TB Joshua's daughter is actually in that video. Yes, was interviewed. Now, you guys know my stand about the Christendom, and in fact, I did a video. The initial title was Christianity is Dead, and later I think I changed it to Real Christianity is Dead. I kind of explain, things like this. These are these stories, they are, like I said, they are really gory information that while listening to it, you can't even imagine it and place the face of TB Joshua. Like, this is the man they're really talking about. It's like they're describing a devilish image, a devilish someone. Now, I try as much as possible to approach it not from a biased point at all. Even before watching the full video, I was like, oh, BBC, come on, these people don't like black people. You know, I don't like BBC, forget about them. Their investigation is biased, they are not real and all that. But watching the video, guys, it's not like I was convinced, but it got my attention that I started feeling like, okay, I need to really talk about this.
For as long as I can remember, I have been raised as TB Joshua's daughter.
I knew the child, Ajoke, right from birth.
She's his actual daughter, his biological daughter, with another woman outside of wedlock.
He doesn't seem to like her very much. She was like kind of labeled the black sheep of the family.
I was in primary school. Was made to move to the disciples' room. I didn't volunteer to be a disciple. I was made to join.
Ajoke grew inside the synagogue like an outcast.
I think he wanted to keep her a secret. I don't think he wanted anyone to know who she was. The message about Ajoke was that she had terrible evil spirits that needed to be driven out.
I tried to look at it from another perspective, like, okay, where are the evidence? Didn't they try to like get evidence? No evidence, right? Again, some of these people spent 14 years, 13 years, 12 years while with TB Joshua. So of course, some of them wouldn't even want to dare to take a video, or the only person who could have done that is the daughter. Like I said, I'm here to watch the third part, so I can't wait to watch it after this video. So I'm going to explain, I'm going to break it down in the next video. But the two parts so far, like the first episode and second episode, the daughter was in the second episode, the daughter, TB Joshua's daughter, from another woman. So they said Joshua is trying to keep this girl away from the media because it's out of wedlock, had her out of wedlock. And TB Joshua hit that girl. That TB Joshua will hit the girl and ask other workers to hit the girl. And even the workers who are now victims said, yes, we hit her. Yeah, he allowed us to beat her up. In fact, they even said there was an incident that happened where he instructed them to take the daughter, you know, to the bathroom, use an electric wire to flog her and turn on the shower on her. This girl, while she was saying all these things, it was being confirmed by the workers. Now, these ladies said that sometimes they work round the clock. Like you try to sleep, TB Joshua will hurt you. Like he has a hot temper. He gets angry easily, to a point where one of the workers said, he asked him, "So why are you always angry?" He said it's a strategy to put fear in people, so these people live in fear. They said even during meetings, right, during meetings when they're about to like hold like workers meeting, everybody is scared, everyone is shaking, nobody can confront him. So one day the daughter walked into the office and confronted TB Joshua. I said, "Why are you doing this? Why are you sleeping with these women?"
There was a time in the disciples' meetings, he said that people could beat her. Anyone in the female dormitory could just hit her. And I saw people just walking in, just slapping her as they walked past.
Ajoke, little thing, you see somebody slap her.
There was a particular time that I was very tired. I had slept a little bit too much.
So he started like shouting at her to get up, to get up, to get up. And there was another like disciple there who basically took her and took her to the shower. and whipped her with an electrical cord and then turned the hot water on.
Put my head right on the hot water. I was screaming at the top of my voice, and they just let the water run on my head for a very long time. We're talking about years and years of abuse, consistent abuse that wasn't ending.
He hated her, and he punished her for being born. Her existence was probably the biggest threat to his reputation.
I couldn't even have an identity. That kind of pain cannot be put into words. I felt like, you know what, maybe I really don't deserve to be alive.
What's her fault? What has that girl done? It pains me. She was still very young that time. Can you imagine how heartless we were?
Things like that, it's scary to talk about. It's really shameful. Like that I witnessed that and I didn't do anything to help her.
Oh my goodness. She must, I don't know what she thought about the rest of us.
The disciples were both brainwashed and enablers. Everybody was just acting based on commands like zombies. Nobody was questioning anything. They were beyond fanatics. Where does your conscience come? How far can your conscience go without some form of accountability, without some form of truth? How far?
So, again, it might be, these allegations first of all, might be he's using them for rituals or just grooming.
There is no way you will know who TB Joshua is if you don't live with him.
At a particular time in the middle of the night, he just asked us to go to our room to go sleep.
He would put us in the room next door. He would lock the door. Next thing we hear from inside the room is he turns on the TV set aloud. Very, very loud.
Loose me, Lord, from all relationships of the flesh.
I was curious, why? Why is Daddy locking us outside? I was curious. So I had to peep under this door.
When I peeped under the door, I saw a certain lady's foot there.
She knelt down close to the long chair. Then I realized that something was happening there. Some activities was going on. It's as if something sexual was happening here. I knew that the wife was not around. His wife doesn't have access to his room.
He made us believe that his wife is always sent to tempt him.
A lot of thoughts were going through my mind. It was like Dad is trying to cover up something.
I need to sit down and dedicate a whole video to break this down. So if you're too lazy to watch the full video, in today's video you're going to get a lot of information about the BBC investigation video. But first of all, guys, I want to say this. Somebody asked me a question in yesterday's video. It says, hi bro, this is Prince, right? I tried to join the business group you created but couldn't get through. Help please. So for those of you that want to join, I have a business group on WhatsApp where we just talk about investment. We just meet up and all that. And if you need assistance with things related to business, or you just need to understand the business side of things, or you need even help in Nigeria, because some people even seek my help here in Nigeria if you're overseas. And if you're within Nigeria as well, you can also join. We invite guests to share their experiences with us. So if you really want to join, the link is going to be in the comment section below. So that's it. Prince, in case you're watching this, the link will be in the comment section below. You can go ahead and join. Our next meeting is on the 20th, by the way. Now let's get back to talking about this crazy story about the man of God, TB Joshua. Another crazy and damning thing about this is that they said that TB Joshua forces them into abortion. There's a lady who claimed that she's from Namibia, right? That she said she's gone through abortions 3 times for Prophet TB Joshua.
He got me to write down that I am a prostitute from Namibia 400 times. And then I signed on camera that it is me, Jessica, signing, I'm a prostitute from Namibia 400 times.
And it is urge.
Yes,
No
yes.
man can satisfy you.
It's true, man of God.
Huh?
It's true, man of God.
The repetition, last in the morning, afternoon, evening, you are sleeping because last, anything you do last. I started believing that maybe I have it. I was a virgin, so I didn't understand what this last thing was all about.
About him forcing people into abortion, asking these girls to, these ladies to go abort. There's a medical section where you take these ladies to, some of them drink concussion to remove the pregnancy and do all that. Even sleeping with a virgin, a Namibian lady who claims that, TB Joshua keep talking about lust. Like she's this, she's that, she's a prostitute, when in actual fact, she's a virgin. So she kept wondering, where is this sin lost? Where is the lust coming from? Because I'm not saying this, I'm a virgin, I don't know a man. So she claimed that it was TB Joshua who deflowered or disvirgin her.
The first time that he made any sexual move on me, he touched my breast and he was hugging me and breathing heavily. I went to one of the disciples. Does he touch you inappropriately? She jumped and said, no. He's my father. Even if he touches me, even if he hugs me, I know that he is my father. You would confide in someone, before you know it, meeting.
Once you hear bell for meeting, everybody starts shaking. Who knows what is going to happen now?
When we have the disciple meetings at night for reporting, you would just see people running. So when you see people running, when you see disciples running, you just run and you follow where they're running to. You would just run.
Discipleship meetings, they filled me with a sense of doom. He'd start the meeting and say, okay, who has a report?
I was just opening the door, and Brother Agama was standing there with this one woman. And I phoned the man of God and said to her, I don't know what's going on. I saw Brother Agama with this woman in a very dark place. So
he was telling me that, I'm your father and I'm delivering you. We went into his room and I stood there and he said, off your clothes. So I removed my clothes and then he just pointed. So I lied down and then he raped me. He broke my virginity. I was screaming and he was whispering in my ear that you should stop acting like a baby. Better shut up. You want to make noise? You want people to hear? I felt like there was a beast. Like this beast. I was 17 years old. I was underage.
When he come back from the service, he kept forcing himself on me. He assured me God was not upset. The more I made him happy, God will be happy with me.
He grabbed me and he held me very close to him, and he literally then pushed me down to the bed and he got on me.
I was still so shocked. I was still bleeding. He spit on the floor and he held my hands and he looked straight into my eyes and said, I can see you are my child now. Don't betray me. Rape became like a normal, terrifying thing that he would do. It's like you are an animal being slaughtered.
He would be calling girls in one after the other. I stayed there almost 14 years.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
I had 3 abortions at synagogue. And from speaking to other women, I'm not the only one.
If any of us got pregnant, he said, you cannot betray the man of God. We have to do something about it. Women that he rapes, he forces them into abortion. I never had a choice whether I could keep a potential child or not. I felt like I didn't own my body.
You know it. You skip your first period, you skip your second period, and you have to talk. It would all done in secrecy. You'd be taken by one of these elder moms to this clinic of his.
I witnessed a lot of abortions. Lots of abortions. It can't be counted. They started doing it inside the synagogue. There's a place they call medical department.
We went out through the back door of his office. We went downstairs.
There's an area that visitors would never see. You're given a concoction to drink, you get sick, or they put these metal pieces in your vagina and they extract whatever, and you don't know whether they're pulling out your womb or something's going wrong.
She was squeezing my stomach and I had to push all those things. He was saying, out, out, out.
Sometimes things go wrong. One of them almost died inside the synagogue.
These were backdoor medical treatments that we were going through. It could have killed us.
I saw how they suffered. I saw how they suffered. There were times I would go to the penthouse. I would be looking over to the main road. I'll be crying. I was crying. I was crying for them.
Sometimes you'd find yourself singing on stage at church, and people will think you're crying because the Holy Spirit is there, but in actual fact, you're dead inside.
Now, TB Joshua, I respect him a lot. Even though the whole thing is complicated about him, I've always wondered what is beneath this. Is this a facade? Is this real? Who is he? Is he a two-faced person? Is the face we were seeing on the Emmanuel TV, is it different from the face behind closed doors? And again, you know, my parents, they watch Emmanuel TV. Sometimes when I go to visit them, you know, I sometimes stumble on them watching Emmanuel TV. But again, in order not to digress, let us stick to, you know, talking about, because I have so much in my heart to talk about, but that will be in future videos. According to some of these people, these are workers, now victims, right, from different part of the world, and some of them are white. The white people. A man that claims to be very close to Pastor TB Joshua was even seen with Pastor TB Joshua in some of their old videos. Now, the BBC video, started by them showing, you know, TB Joshua when he started back then during the time of VHS, and how he has really invested in pushing the word out there and tried to create this narrative that he is the savior of the world. They said this guy, in actual fact, is perpetrating crime on a global scale. It turned people to monsters. One of the men that was very close to TB Joshua said that TB Joshua told him that he's hurt, by what the white people did to his forefather, so he's about to pay back. So he wants to make the whites his slaves.
I was very close to him. I was just like the number 2 in the synagogue church of all nations. There are certain things he told me personally that I know many of the disciples never knew. He knows exactly what he wanted to achieve. He had special interest in the Oyibo, the whites. That was one of the motivation factors in him. He said, Agomo, that's, I will teach them lesson. I will show them.
TB Joshua wanted to write history for himself. He wanted them to serve him. He wanted to rule over them.
And my brother, he did it. A disciple of TB Joshua is a slave to TB Joshua.
I was a disciple of TB Joshua for 10 years, from 2001 to 2010.
I stayed in that place till 2013. So what's that, 12, 13 years that I was there, yeah, in Lagos.
I was 16 or maybe even 15 when I first visited, and then I stayed for 14 years.
It was a psychological prison. We all thought we were in heaven, but we were in hell, and in hell, terrible things happen.
For TB Joshua, it was a game and a trap that he sets for the white people.
So he called me, Sagomo, I need to make these white people my disciple.
When I first got to Lagos Airport, we told them that we were going to the Synagogue Church of All Nations. Oh, go through, go through. It was like a free pass entry to anything. It's just like, oh, go through, of course. Oh, yeah, you're here. Yes, off you go, off you go.
That guy is a genius. These things were not happening as a shock to him. Everything he does is planned. He planned it out.
Now I understand, people can come out and lie against someone and say, some things that, even though they are unbelievable and very serious allegations, it might be untrue. But your daughter, confirming those things, and these stories, align with the victim's stories. Like the daughter's story, the daughter being beaten by TB Joshua, because she confronted TB Joshua that, why are you sleeping with these women that's working with you, including whites and the blacks from different countries?
Every time I was beaten up, every time I was humiliated, it just reminded me that there was something wrong with that system. I saw female disciples going up to his room. They were away, they were going away for hours. I was hearing things, oh, this happened to me, oh, he tried sleeping with me. Too many people were saying the same thing. Accounts firsthand of people who had experienced sexual abuse.
She got to know who he was, and she could not manage it quietly. She escalated it.
I couldn't take it anymore. I walked directly into his office and I went off. I shouted at the top of my voice, why are you doing all of this? Why are you hurting all of these women? You're using these women. You're sleeping with these women. I had lost every iota of fear for this man. He was shocked. He was beyond shocked and he couldn't hide it. He tried to, stare me down, but I was looking at his eyes.
He got stirred up, claiming innocence to the disciples. When he's angry, it's like he can kill. He was the first person that started hitting her, then other people joined. He will say, can you imagine, see what he's saying about me? Even as much as they were hitting her, beating her, she was still saying the same thing she was saying. You are having an affair with all these women here. She said it plainly to him.
The disciples dragged me out of the office. I was put in a room totally isolated from the rest of the church.
He would lock her up in a room for months. I'm not telling you weeks, so months.
I wonder how I lived through that time, because they were hitting me with belts, chains. I couldn't even stand up for days after this beating. I couldn't take a shower. He was trying so hard to stop people from listening to me. It just felt threatened by the fact that I knew the things that was happening.
Ajoke was bold enough to confront him in front of his disciples. I see her as a hero, to look at him and tell him who he is. She was brave.
This child could see what we couldn't see and wouldn't yield to the lies and was punished for it.
He created an image of an untouchable being, of a perfect being. But I was looking through those things. I was seeing a man that was very vulnerable, that was very afraid of the truth. He was very afraid that someone would speak up, could turn around and make him answer to those things that he had done.
Most of them said, this man is a ritualist. He sleep with these women so that he can use them for a ritual. That's like one of the rituals that he does to get his power. Now that lady Bisola that was seen in the BBC video has released a video stating some of these allegations while TB Joshua was alive. So I know some people might be like, okay, why didn't they release this while it was alive? First of all, BBC said they've been on it for over 2 years now, the investigation. So that's number one. And number two is, yeah, there are some people who might be scared, to come out like Bisola and confront people like TB Joshua, release videos, against people like TB Joshua. So they would prefer to go to a bigger company to handle the whole investigation, so that they don't just come out and just release a video. They want to have more people on board like themselves that have experienced it to come and confirm some of the things that they've said. So if you've instilled fear in people, some of them might be scared to come out while you're still alive, or agree to do an interview while the person is still alive.
Somebody was so tired, he slept, opened his mouth. TB Joshua led 4 boys. They pee inside his mouth.
Synagogue church is a complicated system. We'll clear everything in your head. We'll make you believe that all the knowledge you had before was rubbish. You don't need it to live. All what you needed to live is to be like TB Joshua.
And the way they explain these things, their stories, except BBC put these people in the same room, they heard themselves talking and all that, because their stories align. That's another thing. Then you begin to gather the pieces. You begin to connect the dots and be like, okay, maybe these ladies, maybe these people are not lying. And they said this target audience, first the white people, and they have to be young white people, 17, 16 years old. There are some blacks and there are some young guys there too that helps him out when he's in his room and all that. This guy said that they would help TB Joshua to remove his underwear in the bathroom, even while he's naked. In the bathroom. It's not like the guy said, you know, TB Joshua sleeps with them. They said that, you know, he doesn't even, he's like a god. He doesn't even bend down. They don't allow him to bend down to pull his own clothes to shower or to go to the toilet.
He had young Nigerian boys that would run around for him up in his 5-story bedroom. You know, they'd get anything he wanted. They'd do his hair, they'd wash his underpants.
We were called 5-story brothers. That is, young guys like me that asked the opportunity to serve the prophet. Just literally serve him just the way the maid serves kings.
People compare his 5-story brothers to be his personal slave because everything he needs, you must be there. All is in my mind is, where is he now? Has he eaten? Has he taken his bath? Is his shower ready?
You have to be there in his privacy. If I can use the word, even to the nudity, you see everything.
When TB Joshua needs to go to toilet, 2 of us has to be there in the toilet. He would remove his underwear to his knee level. Then we bring it down. We don't allow him to bend down.
There was a lot of strange things behind closed doors.
His underwears, you know he wears white. Most times he pours this honey. He will pour it inside his pants, inside his underwear. He will pour it there. When he pours those honey there, he wears the underwear.
And I was like, what's the significance of this?
Those that have worked for TB Joshua, there was even one I actually recognized her face back then when I watched TB Joshua's video. The one white lady, she was actually part of them. She was the one who said she was gay. So she thought that being gay is demonic. That's why she came in the first place to see TB Joshua. She was like 16, or most of these ladies are 16 or 17.
I got taken by 2 women and they stripped me naked and they pushed me in a shower and turned the water on. And I remember saying something along the lines of, I can do it. And they were like, no, we're your sisters now. We're here to do this for you.
I didn't really know anyone's last name, really their age. I was Sister Kara.
I was Sister Annika. That was immediately encouraged to see each other as family.
You can be tempted by your friends, father, mother, sisters. The kind of friend you are having, they are the one leading you to do evil.
We try to persuade them to willingly separate from their people, to willingly stop that constant communication with their homes.
You couldn't contact anyone outside. I didn't have my own cell phone. We didn't have really access to our own personal email. We didn't have our passports. They held them for us.
Say my pass is over.
If you came into any room and you didn't stand up, that would be considered an offense.
We weren't allowed to read anything. We weren't allowed to watch movies.
You know, he would say what you should wear, what you shouldn't.
There was a law in the studio. If you want to go and pee, you have to stop by his office.
TB Joshua had a massive temper.
You'd see people coming and they would be like, he's hot, hey, he's hot. Daddy's hot. And you would literally see everybody just scatter. If you didn't run, you'd get an almighty big slap around the face. And I witnessed that regularly. You didn't see it as physical abuse. We were told it's an honor to get slapped by me because I'm next to Jesus.
He wants to control everybody, everything.
Our bathroom stalls had just like curtains on them. And if anyone thought you were doing anything, they could just, flip the curtain.
We'll bug you. Even your record while you're taking your shower in the bathroom, it's there. Everything is there.
So, the miracles. Let's talk about it. So they said there's a place that TB Joshua has, a place that he has taken them to. Again, I have to question that. Because if I have a secret place, if I have a secret shrine, I wouldn't want to show my workers the diabolic act. So I have a question on that. I have to question that. Why would TB Joshua take them to a room full of people's pictures and will carry like knife and put it on these people and pin it on the ground, put it on the picture, pin it on the ground or somewhere, and just walk around it, creating this ritual scenario. So well, again, it's people close to him, so he might feel like, okay, they've been with me for years, I've brainwashed them, so whatever.
He was a sexual predator. He was a ritualist. TB Joshua asked me to find virgins for him, to bring young girls into disciple fold. In the midnight, this person would be called into his bedroom so that he could disvirgin them. When those girls come out, he usually take all the bed sheets and everything, he pack them and take them to the prayer mountain.
It's very important for me to speak to the world. I am using it as a platform of confession. What I was doing then was against God.
I remember one day, TB Joshua, he called for me. He allowed me on the road. We went so far. There was a prayer hut I had never seen before.
So in that room, it's our duty to make sure that we own a certain incense there. If he's going to enter there, that place must be filled with smoke.
We do normally have our meetings in the night. He trusts me with the assignment he's giving me.
It's just candles everywhere, pictures.
All the disciples' pictures, we pour it on the floor. His own picture is not there. His wife picture is not there. It's only the disciples.
He will wear a red garment, plain red. The garment is long down to his ankle. And he will hold a sword in his hand. Those pictures, he will place the sword directly on the face. It will be pierced through and it will be pinned down there.
They are in bondage, spiritually and physically. This is what you have done to people. Ilé ayé gbóná mọ́ wọn. Wọn mọ nǹkan tán lè ṣe mọ́ wọn mọ bí tán lọ. Wọ́n wà ní àhámọ́.
You just move around this prayer room and you move in an anti-clockwise way.
Holding this sword, going around, oh Lord, forgive us, oh Lord, forgive us, oh Lord, forgive us. Have mercy on us, have mercy on us.
I've never seen this kind of thing before. Everything about his prayer room is photos. People's photo. And I can tell you, they are mostly ladies.
What he did was all intentional. He was doing all those sexual activities for something spiritual.
Satan knows everything that people cannot know. TB Joshua is not any man of God. He's man of evil.
This is the Prayer Mountain, the original site of the Synagogue Church of All Nations.
Prayer Mountain is a place full of water. that TB Joshua dreamt?
He has different islands on the lake there. And each of them has different prayer huts, prayer houses, small huts. I don't think there's any week that he doesn't go there. That's where he stays. He stays and does most of his work.
People think the prayer mountain is where to go and pray. But there is more to that. There is more to that. The 16 years I spent there, we are the prayer warrior, which is the powerhouse of the ministry. I happen to be the leader. It will give you different assignments. There was one day TB Joshua came to the mountain. They caught one fish alive, very big. So in my presence, TB Joshua caught his beard, cut part of the hair, his private part. He poured those things in the mouth of that fish. Say we should take it back to the river and drop it. That was how they start multiplying. When they lay egg, they lay thousands of eggs. It's secretive. If we are talking about spiritual power, either it's Satan or it's God.
I remember discussing this with my mom back then, because I've always been curious as a child. And I think that's why sometimes myself and my mom don't get along when it comes to stories like that. It's because I ask a lot of questions, growing up. I'm not the talkative guy. I'm really quiet, gentle. I pay attention to things, and I ask questions that people of my age can't even ask. And I remember asking my mom, that what is it about this TB Joshua? Because even back then there were rumors that this man is diabolic and stuff. Back then, yeah, there were rumors. And I remember talking about, like, my mom said, if truly this man is a fake man of God, we would have seen it. God would have exposed him. We would have seen evidences and all out there. I guess, some people are so perfect in manipulation that it's until they are gone before you get to see the true image. Or they're so powerful spiritually that you probably might never know anything until they are gone. Again, manipulation, fear, and all that. Just shocking. I must say, like, very, very shocking. Mrs. Bisola said that TB Joshua is a psychopath. Guys, this whole information about TB Joshua and what he has done. I mean, I remember us talking about this man's legacy after he died. And of course, I remember we also even talked about some of these allegations about TB Joshua. But here we have the long-awaited videos, informations that have been out there for a while, but there is no face attached to it. Nobody coming to say he did this to me. Not this much group of people coming together, using a platform to say this is what this man did. So now, in conclusion, right, it would have been so cool, very, very interesting if they had released this video while TB Joshua was alive. But now is no more to defend himself. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video, subscribe. Until we see you next time. Peace.
Hello, my name is Angelique and I come from South Africa.
My name is Rachel and I'm from the UK.
Hi, my name is Annika and I'm from Great Britain. Hi, my name is Kara and I'm an American. To know Jesus Christ is to know his power. Therefore, whatever you speak to in his name, he will see to it that it is done. This goes to show that all your complaints are the fruit of sin. You need to keep yourself safe from sin. You need to divorce from unrighteousness and you need to embrace righteousness. If you're born again genuinely, then Satan has to listen. Now that implies that your problem.
You can see that these people are trapped in another world, just completely detached from what we consider the real world.
He would come towards me and then he'd wrap his leg around the back of my legs and lower me like a plank onto the carpet.
He lowered me like on my back to the floor. He started sticking his tongue like in my ear. It was this ear first and then he went into that ear, and I remember lying there like a piece of wood and thinking, what the hell is he doing? It's disgusting. Like, it's disgusting. What? Like, and I totally froze. I just panicked. Like, I went into complete panic.
Going up to his room in the middle of the night, I always saw young girls coming down the stairs. My mind would sometimes go, oh, I wonder if they're having the type of time I'm having with him.
You know, at first it was like, remove your top. And I would be uncomfortable with it. And if I didn't do what he wanted, then he would threaten me. To the point where eventually he would like assault me and then blame me afterwards and say, you know, you did this, look at what you've done to me, look what you've done.
The sister reported me and said, oh, Jessica called me and told me that you touched her inappropriately. He stood up from his chair. Do I do that to you? Can I do that? A man of God? And she said, no, sir. She's lying. She's just lustful. He hit me. He slapped me. He punched me. He kicked me in the stomach.
All disciples go through this. Even the most powerful people have to be brought down because he is at the very top all the time.
If there's a plan for you, when you come to that meeting, you won't be able to defend yourself. Shut up! Bye! Keep quiet! What do you want to say? Do you want to argue with Papa? Do you want to argue with Daddy?
Man of God, please. Please help me.
That's me speaking.
What are the things you used to do?
I'm stubborn, I'm proud. I need forgiveness, please, everybody, please. You all know me, but I've changed.
I've been laid flat on the floor. My skirt was lifted up and I was just naked. He hit me with that horse whip.
He will actually lie down on the floor. He will use it. Bawa, 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 bawa. Everywhere blood. He beat you without mercy.
One Christ is all I have. Please help me, sir.
Many a times I have been punished with beatings. You are at his mercy. You are at his mercy.